We're still working on it. We're getting them back in Houston. Him and Braxton are buddies. That's good.
Last official smack.
We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jason Baker.
Here.
Jim Dodrell.
Here.
Brian Ellis.
Here.
Tim Engel. Dave Haba. Brian Holman. Vic Mays. David Mills.
Here.
Jacob Pack.
Here.
Donald Pauly.
Here.
Steve Perry.
Here.
Sarah Stewart's. Travis Willard.
Here.
Glenn Yeager. Yeah.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a review and formal action on the December 18th special meeting minutes.
Motion to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are accepted. I am going to switch the order of the agenda up just a little bit. I'm going to move the election of the Planning Commission President and Vice President in front of the citizens' concerns items, and just want to make note for the record, when we went through the election of officers, Mr. Haba was a name that was noted as being elected, but he did nominated. He did submit a letter prior formally withdrawing his name from that nomination, and that was sent prior to the last meeting. So, with that said, the election of the vice president, I believe that would just leave Mr. Pauly as the only individual who was on the ballot as being nominated. Dawn, would you accept the position of vice president?
Yes.
Staff, were there any other nominations? Okay. So Dawn, you would accept the position of vice president?
Yes.
Mr. President, I move that he be elected to the position by acclamation since there's no other nominees.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. And then the next would be the election of president. Mr. Dodrell, I believe, is the only individual who was nominated for that position. Staff, is that correct? Jim, would you accept?
You hear a train coming? I will.
Is there a motion to elect Mr. Dodrell? Is there a second? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So I will now pass the gavel to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the confidence of the members of the commission in me, and I'll try to live up to your expectations. The next item on the agenda is citizens' concerns, and this is the time on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, for general concerns, not to speak to any other item on the agenda that's already on the agenda. So, for example, the application that comes later on the agenda, we won't be taking anyone speaking on that. This part of the agenda is just for general citizens' concerns. So if there's anybody that has any concerns that you want to bring forward now, again, not pertaining to the item that's on the agenda, we'll take those up at this time. Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 7 on the agenda. That was quick. Which is the application of Matt Equities LLC for a zoning amendment.
Okay. This is rezoning request 2025-03. MAT Equities LLC desires to rezone parcel 27.12 of tax map 222 from R1 Single Family Residential to C1 Suburban Commercial. The request is to be considered based on authorities, facts, and criteria such as Chapter 8A of the West Virginia Code, Putnam County adopted plans, and the adopted zoning ordinance. The comprehensive plan entitled Putnam County Community Plan 2024, Bridging to the Future, is one of those documents. The plan's mission statement is continuing the vision of improving the quality of life to make Putnam County a better place to live, work, and play. Chapter 5 of that plan is in your packet as Attachment A. The US 35 Corridor Management Plan should also be considered. A portion of that document is Attachment B. Additionally, the Teays Valley Land Use Plan and its objectives of land use conflicts, land use opportunities, aesthetics, beautification, along with administration and enforcement is a consideration. See Attachment C. Also, for your convenience, a full copy of all these plans are at the President's seat if you need them. Article 150.02 of the zoning ordinance defines an amendment. Article 2000, amendments and hearing procedures for a rezoning request, is detailed in your packet. The R1 article is included as Attachment D. It is the intent of this district to establish low-density residential areas consisting of single-family dwelling and compatible uses. This district shall provide for the requirements consistent with community values and needs. The C1 article is included as Attachment E. It is the intent of this district to provide for retail businesses and services that serve primarily the residents of suburban areas of the county. This district shall allow convenience and personal service establishments generally compatible through proper site planning with residential uses. The timeline and facts section of your summary discusses specifics. On January 11th, 2021, a deed conveying the subject parcel to MAT Equities was recorded in the clerk's office. The deed's in Attachment F. On December 11th, 2025, the application was submitted, and it included the disclosure statement. That's Attachment G. The subject parcel is Lot 6 in Ellis subdivision. Recorded 1988 plan of Ellis subdivision is included as Attachment H. A recent survey of the .61 acre lot is Attachment I. The lot has about 206 linear feet of frontage onto Commerce Drive and approximately 5 feet of frontage on Ellis Drive. Both of those drives are a 30-foot right-of-way. A current zoning map is provided as Attachment J. The applicable land is outlined. Abutting parcels with their land uses and zoning districts are as follows. Please take note that pink equals C1 and yellow is R1. Tax map 222, parcel 20.11. MAT Equities also owns this property. It's acreage to the west. It's currently zone C1, and it consists of several commercial businesses. Tax map 222L, parcel 227, equals a single-family residence in Maple Lane subdivision. To the north, it's zoned R1. Tax map 222, parcel 27.7, has a single-family residence in Ellis subdivision to the east, and it's zoned R1. And additionally, tax map 222, parcel 27.17, is a single-family residence in Ellis subdivision to the south, and it's zoned R1. The subject parcel is near a Putnam County tax increment financing district that's known as a TIF. An existing TIF is approximately 843 feet away. Attachment K shows the existing TIF districts in blue. A TIF is actually a financial tool used by local government to fund economic development, infrastructure, or community improvement projects. Attachment L includes an aerial and also site photographs. The parcels are not, or the parcel is not mapped in FEMA's flood zone. Water and sewer service are available through Putnam PSD. On December 30th, abutting landowners with 250 feet of the parcel was mailed a notification for tonight. On January 1, a legal advertisement was published in the Hurricane Breeze, and a sign was posted on site on January 14th. Public interaction and submitted commentary are documented in Attachment M. And then we have the normal reminder. It is proper to consider a rezoning application by the listed permitted uses in the requested zoning classification. In this particular case, the landowner will be entitled to make use of any of those described in a C1 district if the rezoning application is approved, just as the landowner is currently entitled to make use of any of those described in the R1 district. Your options for tonight is, if you want more information, you may table. Should you find the application protects and promotes the public health, safety, convenience, and moral and general welfare, and meets the intent of the referenced documents, you may vote to recommend approval to the Putnam County Commission. If you find that the application does not protect and promote as described, you may recommend denial to the County Commission. The last page in your packet, as normal, is a rezoning worksheet. And if you do choose to make a decision for recommendation tonight, the County Commission will have this on their March 24 agenda. And I'm available for questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Before we open the public hearing, does anybody have any questions for staff? All right.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
is the subdivision, I know that you put in there that it was, the map was established in 88, is that still active? Is that still, the subdivision still exist? Is it dissolved?
No, it is a subdivision. The question of whether it's a subdivision and if they have covenants and if they are valid and if they have an active homeowners association are all different matters. It is a subdivision. The other items that I just listed are a private legal matter, and that's not something that I can attest to.
Okay.
Any other questions for staff? Okay. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will open the public hearing. And one of the first things I need to do before going into the public hearing is ask members of the commission if there are any disclosures of conflict.
I do have a conflict, so I will step away.
Okay. Any others? All right, staff has already presented its summary. Is the applicant here? Okay. You would come forward to the mic. If you have any comments, tell us your name and address, and then go forward with your comments.
I have a point of order real quick.
Yep.
If Mr. Hobbs recused himself, that leaves 8 voting members. Do we still have a quorum?
Dave?
I mean, not Dave, I'm sorry. David Mills. Since he's left, we now have 8 members here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah.
that. Okay, never mind. I'm so sorry.
We're good.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
I'm Tim Meeks, 1055 East Highland Drive, my place of residence. And if there's any questions that anybody has, I'll be happy to address them to the best of my ability.
Okay. Nothing to add to the application? Just, anybody have any questions for Mr. Meeks? All right. Thank you, Tim. All right. Are there any public comments? Oh, hearing none. Then we will close the public hearing at this time. And we now,
We really don't understand the procedure. We are here representing the subdivision, we'd like to address the commission.
absolutely, this is your chance. So, yeah, please come up. This is your opportunity to make comments, either in support of or in opposition to the application. And if you would, state your name and your address.
Hello, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Ryan Thomas, address 7 Ellis Drive, Hurricane, West Virginia 25526. I'm 44 years old. I am a single mother of a single household of 2 kids. twins of, they're 14. They go to Hurricane. I am definitely opposed to this. I will open up my front door and see a commercial property. We live on the end of the cul-de-sac. I'm the last house on the road, and I love where I live. I love the convenience, but I love the quietness. I love the safety. Even though we're so close to 34 right there, I feel safer than I would anywhere else, really. If anybody comes down our road, it's only because you're coming to somebody's house. It's not because you're traveling the road to scope out and see what's going on. This is a very close-knit community. We all help each other out. I met Thor because he was on my property one day, and I asked him why he was there. He asked me if he could have the property surveyed. I said, it's your property, go right ahead and have it surveyed. I didn't know that he was going to continue to make it a commercial property. So I am very opposed to this. I have 2 children. I left Putnam County when I was in 4th grade, and I never felt like I had a home, and I came back in 2017 is when I bought that house, and I feel like I have a home again, and I made it for my kids and me, and I work hard on that property. And if he moves a commercial property in there, which he already has commercials behind me, I have the cheer gym that used to be, I heard every night. I never said anything. I have the tractor trailer of tires that comes from the tire place, and they move tractor trailers in the middle of the night. I mean, I have dealt with a lot, but I don't say anything. I'm very quiet. I just mind my own business. And I have 2 children, and I just feel like I came here back to Hurricane for the schools and for the community, and how Putnam County just is very embracing of family. Mr. Minks and his son, they have enough property. They have enough businesses. They have enough everything. I'm single home owner. He moves that in, my property value goes down even more. If I ever should want to sell, which I never do as of right now, because I enjoy where I live. That's our home. We love home. I've even talked to the kids, should we move? My son's like, please God, don't move us. We love it here. Mom, don't move us. I was like, all right, so, because it had been discussed before. So it's off the table. I don't have a garage. I leave my car out. Sometimes I forget to lock it, but I don't care because I don't have to worry about crime. If he moves a commercial property in, and I've heard several different things of it being maybe storage units, maybe this, maybe that. I work for Kanawha County Magistrate Court. I know crime, see it very often, and I know what storage units bring. And I know what storage units bring is crime. So if he puts that on the property beside me, then I'm going to have to fear for more crime coming in. I know we don't have a high crime rate in Putnam County, but that will bring it. That will bring it in a heartbeat. And then that brings it into a neighborhood that feels safe and calming. When I come home from work, I don't worry about somebody soliciting or doing anything, or I don't even worry if my door's open and my screen door's open and we're out doing stuff in the yard, my kids are in my house. I feel safe. And I feel like if you put a commercial property and you do all this, it's just not going to feel safe anymore. It's not going to feel like it was home. And I'm going to be opening up my front door and seeing a commercial property. And I just don't think that's what, would any of you want to do that? Would you want to open your front door and be like, oh, that building is so wonderful? No, I don't think you would. I'm just really here to voice, because this is beside my property. It's right beside my property, and that's why I'm here. And I'm here to say, I don't want it. My anxiety level of it has been through the roof since I read about it. I just don't want I want my home. I just want it to be home. And if he built a home for somebody to live in, great. But not commercial, please. Please consider, this is a family-oriented community or residence, and we just got a new neighbor, and they have kids, and they ride their bikes, and you just see so much wonderful things. And if you put a business down there, then you don't know what it's going to bring. And nothing but houses are surrounding. And I just feel like it's just not a good idea. So thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Yes. What are the buildings that are commercial near you? What are they for?
I think the one that's directly behind me, it used to be Famous Gymnastics or the cheer.
That was the Cheer Academy or whatever. it was,
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, I knew Rick that ran it, and I used to cheer, so it wasn't like it bothered me. Sometimes I hear the gym's music as loud as it can be because they leave their garage door open. But I go in the house and I don't hear it. It's only when I'm outside. So, and then you got the jiu-jitsu, and then you got quantum, and then, if you go on over, you can go to the dollar store, whiskey, he's got all these businesses, all this property. Put it in there somewhere. And some of these places are wide open. They don't have any business in them. The one behind me that was the cheer gym, I'm pretty sure it's empty. I don't hear anything because my son is now doing gymnastics at that gym. So, you've got enough property. Use it. Quit, don't invade somebody's home residence. Sorry.
I appreciate your comments, and I just want to make sure you're lot 7, right?
Yes, sir.
Ryan Thomas, okay,
Yes.
yeah. And do you know how much, I'm looking at the map right here, and it looks like your lot has looks like about a quarter of the cul-de-sac there.
Yeah, I'm it.
But this lot 6, which is the Mad Equities lot, it doesn't look
He
like
would have literally
basically
a
just a little
triangle
triangle.
to enter, and I'm not giving up any more of my property to him to put a business in.
What, and the
I know
reason,
Rick-
I'm sorry,
I know Rick isn't, which is the other property that's beside 6, that's 5.
yeah.
Um,
Well, the reason I ask that is, and just looking at it on the map here, it looks to me like if someone were to try to put a house on lot 6,
that
they
I don't
wouldn't be
know.
able to have a driveway or access to the cul-de-sac.
Right, but if they want to put a house, that would be something I would more consider and be happy to work with than you putting a business.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying townhouses, I'm saying a house,
Right.
a dwelling, one single home dwelling. Bring more people in like that. Don't bring more in with businesses. 'Cause we've got enough around here, and literally, I tried to get here on time. I had to text them, be like, I'm running late, I'm stuck at West Days, and God knows if I'm gonna make it on time. So, we
What-
just got enough down there.
One thing I want to explain to you and the other folks here is, and this is one of the constraints on us as the planning commission, we're not allowed by law to look at or consider what's going to be done with the property.
That's fine.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you know
I
that.
just don't want commercial there.
Here.
I do not want anything that's gonna bring, okay, I can sit on my couch, I have no blinds in my window. I will have to make more privacy because God knows what's gonna be looking at me now. I have nothing looking at me now. I don't fear that somebody's window peeking or trying to figure out how to get in my shed to get my lawnmowers and stuff, you know what I mean? I have no fear. I've accidentally left my door unlocked, and I'm like, okay, I'm not scared to go in my house. I don't fear. And in fact, there's more people, and he's got a business that's right there and they can see how to get into my house. Do you understand what I'm saying? The fear of people coming onto my property is just not what I want.
The shed that you just mentioned is that the
Can I-
shed?
can I-
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Is that the shed right there? Okay.
Yeah.
It's on the opposite side.
Yeah, so where that dirt road is.
Right.
And all the way down to that end of that corner right here. And then and all the way around the front part. So
Yeah.
this is my back. And
Yeah,
that's my
here's
front.
this is your lot,
Yeah,
right here.
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
There appears on the map that I'm looking at, an old county road, 30-foot right-of-way. Is that so? That's behind your property?
I have to see what you're talking about. The old road, the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, and that's another thing, when I first.
that's Commerce Drive. That's the
Yeah.
road.
You can't even see it. It floods. Like, honestly, when I first moved there, Rick, my neighbor, was lifting his backyard up with dirt because I was told the Minks, where they built property across the creek, had made it to where his backyard would flood all the time. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I saw it firsthand, and he literally had to lift his backyard up so it would quit flooding. So yeah, that bottom there where that road is, even if you go back farther, when it's really raining hard, it'll get stopped up and flood all the way back through there.
So is this road used for egress and ingress by anyone?
Nobody can even get to it.
Yeah, that's not the 30-foot right of way.
Okay.
What she's talking about is on the other side.
The other
Yeah.
side, Ellis Drive is what I'm talking about. I don't feel like he needs to have any access to Ellis Drive at all. I don't feel like he needs to have a commercial building there. And, like I said, I understand, Mr. Dawker, you told me, you don't have a decision on what they put there, but I would be more happy if somebody put another home there. You know what I mean? And more, I would work better with the whole lenience of having a driveway put in or something like that. You know what I mean? But I just don't feel that a commercial property, when you have tons of commercial property already, you can go ahead and use it instead of building another building and watch it deteriorate like I've watched a bunch of their buildings deteriorate. So,
Thank you. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, can the piece of property be accessed from Commerce Drive?
no, you can't even use Commerce Drive Road.
So that's a part of
According to this, yeah, I mean, if this was C1, you could access the property from Commerce Drive.
I mean, right, you would have to work on getting it to be accessible, because right now it's nothing but woods.
That's all those.
Yeah, if you look at the last picture,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was looking at.
yeah, that's, whoever took this picture is basically standing in Commerce Drive.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, you have to be required to put fencing.
And it slightly slopes up to the
Yeah, it
to the
goes up,
cul-de-sac.
my property goes up from it. But then like it's so weird, because the property also slopes down too.
You can actually see your house in this photo.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. That's what I mean, it's very close, and that's just very uncomforting for me. And I have a boy and I have a girl, and, I don't feel safe. I feel fine with them going home after school now, but, I don't know what to expect after that. And, I have a dog, and she takes him out, her out when she gets home, and
This is one, and that's the
I
tree
don't know.
base.
It's just not.
See, that's all trees. Like we have. Gotcha.
Anyone else have any other questions? Thank you, ma'am, appreciate it. Any other public comments? If you would, state your name and your address, appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Richard. I own the property at number 9 Ellis Drive. I own the property at number 5 Ellis Drive. And I did until 3 weeks ago own the property at number 8 Ellis Drive. I just sold that house. I'm representing my family and some of the people here from the subdivision. I speak for myself, hopefully being able to relay some information from them also, but they are entitled to speak their mind if you all allow. Mr. Meeks and I go back a long ways. I've lived in that area for 40 years next month. I've seen a lot of comings and goings. What Ryan said was basically 100% true in every fact. The Meeks Emporium, or whatever you want to call it, has affected my life and my family for 40 years. Good or bad, I have compensated for the issues that the commission, the Putnam County Commission, has allowed to happen through paperwork. After you give permission to let Mr. Meeks bring C1 into lot number 6, you open the door that we cannot close. I've seen this more times than one, and I'll reference that to Whiskey Taco, to C.A. Tony Tire Store, Marco's Pizza, and the list goes on. Mr. Meeks files the paperwork. He has these big ideas. He puts these lawyers to work. He gets surveys. He comes to you all with his fancy paperwork, and you all put your rubber stamp on it. Nobody ever monitors it. Nobody cares after you open that door. I and the Homeowners Association, we have an active petition on file to, it's 100% signed by every property owner in Ellis Drive, the HOA. You have that in your paperwork. I'm assuming you have it. We do not want to open the door. Please, if you give him permission to put a building there, whether it's going to be rental units, we've been told, offices, another warehouse, we have never been shown anything on paper what his ideas or the progress is going to be for the county. I had a 2.5-hour meeting with Mr. Meeks and his son Thor, who now probably runs the company. Tim and I are friends. His son is a different story. After 2.5 hours of meeting with him Tuesday, I still was not shown a plot, a plan, a drawing, only that Thor wants to have a private office where he can go and conduct his business. Well, gentlemen, he owns so many businesses in that area. His business 1 week is in this room, 1 week it's across the street. We as a subdivision are afraid that you open the door for a building to be built, as beautiful as it might be, it'll turn into something else. Ryan Thomas, will walk out her door into dumpsters. It's projected a 10-foot fence, I was told. That's not going to bother the subdivision at all. But it's all smoke and mirrors. They are slick and fancy. They have a right-of-way and easement off of Commerce Drive that they incorporated when Mr. Meeks bought that property, I think about 8 years ago, from Bill Ledman. He bought it knowing that it was residential. We all know what a homeowners association is and what residence means. But if you lived there like we do, would you want a commercial building beside where you live today? Because you opened the door, or somebody on this commission opened the door and allowed money and greed to impact your life. Again, I've lived through, the commission gives C.A. Tony Tire Store permission to open. I showed up at this hearing, well, maybe not you all, but at this room. I objected to it because of the noise. I was guaranteed the laws and the hours of operation would be followed to a letter T. 8 to 5, you can look on their website, that's their business hours. That's a crock of crap. They're in there on Saturdays, they're in there on Sundays. The manager lets his buddies open the doors. It's like a drag strip behind there. They build race cars. On Sundays, a day that I would like to think I could get some rest. It sounds like the drag strip. Marco's Pizza. Yeah, they might close the doors at 11 o'clock or midnight. Fridays and Saturdays, it's midnight. You all gave them permission. 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, they're cleaning the grills. Guy takes these speakers out of his SUV, puts them on the back tailgate, and it's boombox city until 4:30 and 5 o'clock at night. Now, like Tim's son did say Tuesday in the meeting, I and you can't do anything about CSX train or the dumpsters keeping us awake at night. You can't control that. But you can control the noise after you give permission for these businesses to operate You can control what happens after the fact. So why do we have to open the door and let it go wide open without any control? Does anybody on this commission even know what goes on after you give a business permission to operate? That's a big question I have in my mind, because my wife and I have spent many a nights listening to music from a place that used to be a night out club in this same gym that Ryan Thomas is speaking of. She hasn't lived there as long as I have. 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, the parties exist. Saturdays and Sundays, it's Mechanic City. Now, don't get me wrong. The commission allowed me to build a nice big garage in my backyard. It's my retirement home. I spent all my retirement. I have a hobby. I like cars. The commission gave me permission to build that building. Like Ryan said, I brought in over 500 dump truck loads of dirt and raised my backyard, because this commission and the state of West Virginia allowed Mr. Meeks to take all the dirt when they revamped 34, and he raised his property 12 to 14 feet in areas and pushed all that water into my backyard. I have pictures. My garage flooded. I lost several cars. I went to Mr. Meeks with my problem. Again, we are friends, and I hope this doesn't end our friendship, because this is just business. Mr. Meeks gave me unlimited dirt off of Meeks Mountain. Used to be just a mountain. I went and bought a dump truck, actually 2 dump trucks, a backhoe, and Mr. Meeks gave me unlimited dirt. I hired family members to help me haul dirt. I raised my property up 14 feet. The whole backyard had to be raised. Now, I didn't live in the backyard. I had a garage back there that flooded every time you peed off the porch, because the state allowed a new bridge to build, a new road, Cow Creek was developed, and Tim Meeks raised all of his property and pushed everything over onto me. The neighbor beside me at number 8 Ellis Drive, I brought in 250 loads of dirt for him to keep his backyard from flooding, and I tapered my yard down to his yard and the lady at number 10 Ellis. I maintained the street. I maintain the brush. Everything I do is for the people, the welfare of the community that you all say in your meeting. That's what this is about. This rezoning is supposed to support the welfare of the community, not business and greed. So I'm open to speak with anybody about problems for 40 years. If you want to talk, Melissa has my number. I'm here for you, but I can only speak for what I know, and I hope that the homeowners association will, if they want to talk, they can add more than I do, but we don't want C1. There's no other way I can express to you that he knew it when he bought it. Mr. Meeks did. He knew it was residential. But yet he had a vision. He had an idea. And that vision and idea affects us as a homeowners association and as property owners. I've raised my 3 kids in that house. I built that house from the ground up with my bare hands and the help of my friends in 1986. We had a homeowners association. We try to follow the rules. We do the best we can. We all struggle. We all have our issues. But we need to sleep at night. You know, you need to sleep at night. I'm sure you would not allow me to put a business beside your house and keep you up at night. My wife would like for me to tell you that in her absence, she would appreciate you to vote no for this if you have the power to stop this. He can build a house there. He told me Tuesday, sure, Rick, I can build a house there. He still wouldn't have a right of way off Ellis Drive. He only has, well, I didn't think he even had 5 foot, but if the surveyor says 5 foot, he's got 5 foot. But it looks like a point to me.
Yeah, it's not much.
You know, but like Ryan said, if he built a nice house there, put a nice family in, well, even any a family, I would give up some of my property for him to have a road to a house. Ryan would give up some of her property, I'm sure. She's already said that. I'm not that kind of guy that would keep somebody from living in a nice area. Remember the word, nice area. It's not commercial. We have enough commercial behind us. It's just all about greed. So, I'm done. I'll get off my soapbox. Any questions of me?
Anybody have any questions?
Sir, I guess y'all have a homeowners association?
Sorry, sir?
Y'all do have a homeowners association?
Yes, the roads are here. They are in charge of the homeowners association. We pay dues. We have streetlights. We have a maintenance program that basically I do for free. I don't know all the rules of homeowners association, you know, the bylaws and everything, but we do have meetings. Mr. Meeks was unaware of homeowners dues. I asked him Tuesday about it. He's never paid a penny homeowners dues since he bought that property 8 years ago. But that's not his fault. He says he didn't know we had homeowners dues. But we have sheets of paper that specifies our rules. There was an increase in the yearly rate. It went from 25 when we first built there, now it's $100 a year. And everything's on paper. We're not hiding anything that we should hide. We have an own homeowners association according to the county.
I'm curious, was the previous owner before Mr. Meeks, was he part or paying part of the homeowners association dues, do you know?
That would be a question for the Rogers because they take care of the books.
It
His
just,
name was Bill Ledman. And my brothers, my sister and brother-in-law, when they bought their lot in number 8, they lived beside me. He acquired lot number 7, which is where Ryan lives. They had a house built, and then it's been sold. Her house has been sold a couple times. So any dues from other people, I don't have a record of.
I'm just thinking outside of this petition, but if it was me and I owned a piece of property and I was being charged homeowner dues to maintain a road, I would want access to that road. It seems interesting that there's not really access to that road from that property at this point, if it was residential.
We've never.
It was just something I was thinking about. If it was me, I would want to pay dues for a road that I couldn't access. But
Okay, would you buy a piece of property in a subdivision that you didn't have access for?
yeah,
Well, that's kind of was my concern
That's
too.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't appear like that this property might
Like-
not necessarily have been intended to be included
Well,
in subdivision.
exactly. Whoever laid this out, when they laid out the subdivision and laid out that cul-de-sac, I mean, they didn't do a very good job if they really intended for this lot to have a house on it, because there's no access to the cul-de-sac.
I agree, but I'm sure you all are familiar with surveys, right? Surveyors, most of you all business people that dealt with surveyors. In the words of Randolph Engineering, I hope you don't mind me quoting them, but a couple of months ago, I walk out my property and I'm seeing flags and 2 guys walking on my property, which is 3 lots over from the Meekses, and they're hanging flags on my property. I walk out and I say, hey guys, what's going on? We're surveying your property. I said, I just had my property surveyed last month. And he said, well, we're surveying it again. I said, I'm not paying you. He said, well, the Meeks is. I said, the Meeks property's way over there. And he said, well, we have to go off your survey because you got the most recent survey. So he said, you know this whole subdivision is wrong. So that gets me to my point. If you know anything about surveys, there's 3 surveys in life. You have the geological, well, whatever the names are. Our subdivision is not proper and legal as far as surveys. The cul-de-sac that's been mentioned is not in the place it's supposed to be. So the Meeks property technically has a 5-foot right-of-way if the cul-de-sac was to move 10 foot towards the Meeks property. But whoever paved our street, if you can look at the picture there, they didn't put this cul-de-sac in the right place. And Randolph Engineering confirmed that with me because I know I've had it surveyed my property 3 times now, because when I was getting the dirt pushed over into my property from the Meeks, I had the property surveyed. My property goes 10 foot across the creek into the Meeks property that he pushed dirt on, which, by the way, the creek was changed also. They rediverted the creek 4 foot, by the way, because they made their property higher and pushed the dirt into the creek. I came to the county and I said, hey, what's the deal? We're getting our creek changed. They said, you can't change a creek. I went to the state. I said, we're getting our creek changed. The water's coming over on me. And they said, Mr. Meeks is doing his property. The state's giving him dirt. And as long as the state's giving him dirt, you can't say anything about him pushing the dirt in the creek. I go to the city of Hurricane. I said, well, wait a minute. We got dirt in the creek. You're not allowed to put dirt in the creek. That's a violation of law. They said, Mr. Meeks donates enough money to this town. He gets whatever he wants. So, the cul-de-sac's not right. He probably has 5 foot. I don't know, I'm not sure.
We have to deal with what's on the ground now, not where it should have been. And according to the latest survey, the frontage of that lot on the cul-de-sac's 3.5 feet.
Yeah, not much.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't legally put a sidewalk in,
No,
so, okay. Anybody have any other questions?
Is the homeowners just for Ellis Drive?
the homeowners association, yes, it's just for Ellis Drive.
Okay, I saw the others nearby.
The subdivision above us, what's the name of that? Parkview. They do not have a homeowners association, though, so I checked into that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir, appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Any other comments? Good. Say your name and your address.
My name is Austin Rome, 408 Parkview Drive. I'd be lot 226. So from my backyard, it's all downhill, overlooking lot number 12. The biggest concern I have, my property's already slipping down the hill already, and my biggest concern is whatever commercial property goes in, them moving all the dirt around and everything, how that's gonna affect my property even more with slippage. And I also speak for my neighbor Karen, lot number 227. That's just been my biggest concern, and I overlook all that commercial property at Hims down there. The biggest complaint I could have would be from Quantum. The noise from Quantum echoes up the hill up to my property all the time. I can hear it in my kitchen, even inside the house. That's really all my biggest concerns are.
You say your lot's 227?
226, then my neighbors also.
Oh, okay, I see, all right. So you back up to lot 5 in the Ellis subdivision? Gotcha.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? None?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, very much, appreciate it. Any other public comments? All right, at this time, I'm going to close the public hearing, and now it's time for us to deliberate with regard to the facts that need to be determined on the rezoning. You all got the sheet. Anyone want to make any comments with regard to the relevant facts that need to be determined for the rezoning? Comments or questions?
I think there's obviously a lot of emotion involved, and I think the public understands that, you know, even though you guys may feel one way or another, we have to make the best decision we can in accordance with our regulations.
Now, this piece of property is not going to be accessed, or cannot be accessed through Ellis Drive.
Right.
Okay, so that there's not going to be people coming down the street to enter into this property. Okay.
Yeah, and just a couple other things too. You know, the decision that we make tonight, either way, is just a recommendation. To the county commission. The final decision is made by the county commission. So the decision tonight, if it's to approve the application, will be a recommendation to the county commission to approve it. It's not our decision. And if the decision is to recommend to not be approved, then that also goes to the county commission. And then to follow up on Commissioner Ellis's comments, you know, we need to consider what the highest, best use of the property is. And I guess what concerns me the most is the fact that you can't access that property from Ellis Drive, and it abuts right now, I think C1 property, is that correct?
It does.
Pardon me?
It does abut
Yeah, that's
C1.
what I thought, okay. Yeah, so, any other comments or questions?
I just want to point out as well that not only if this would be approved, would there not be access to Ellis Drive, but from what I'm looking at the map, there would be screening that would be placed pretty much around the whole perimeter of the property. It butts residential property all the way around. So there would definitely be a cutoff of Ellis Drive for the most part from screening as a requirement of commercial property.
Did it, and a question for the folks that are here tonight, there were a couple comments made that property values would be decreased, would be adversely affected by this. Have you all retained any appraisers or anything that come in and said, giving you actually any numbers on how much, what percentage or anything they think that might happen? Okay. Any other comments? Go ahead.
Just looking at the area, it appears that the whole area was designed as residential for subdivisions, whether they had homeowner associations or not. But the homeowner association and a lot of the homeowners, either the two homeowners that could grant access to Ellis Drive, if they built a home or something there, shows the cooperation of that. And like I say, it would maintain the original design to have residential property and the house was originally zoned. So I think it probably should stay that way.
And the thing there is, if it's zoned C1, does that automatically take it out of the homeowners association that it's been in since its inception? And what does the homeowners association, do they not have any rules and regulations about what goes in on the properties?
And that was kind of what I was implying. Thank you for clearing that up earlier, because if it is actually the homeowners association legal standing, then they're gonna have other rules, and I don't know that we can even make that decision.
At this point, we're not even sure, for sure, if it's even part of the homeowners association yet. Nor do we even have any legal stance to even ask that question, really.
Those are all great questions. And those are legal questions, because, for example, if the county commission were to approve this, if we recommended approval and it went to the county commission and they approved it, what impact does that have on the status of that lot, Lot 6, as it relates to the homeowners association, to the subdivision? Does that automatically pull it out, so they no longer have to comply with the HOA regulations? Those are questions I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, because that's up to the bylaws of the homeowners association. I know in our association, we have, as you enter into our development, there's two businesses, and they are part of the association to maintain the road. They do have to pay fees. But that's the way our bylaws are written. I don't know what theirs are written as.
Well, and the other piece of that is, if the HOA was established back when, and they have bylaws or restrictions, restrictive covenants or whatever, again, I don't know,
Right.
every homeowners association is different.
Right.
But if there are restrictive covenants or other restrictions that the homeowner association has on what can go on those lots, again, I don't know the impact of changing this to C1, whether that can override those requirements or not.
Those requirements should, or I would have thought, been recorded in the way I see things, Lot 5, 6, and 7. So to me, that tells me that that is part of that
Part of the
subdivision.
subdivision
Yeah.
and the original set,
Yes.
survey.
Excuse me, can we submit the HOA regulations to the committee?
You have a copy of them?
Yes, I do.
Love to see them.
Melissa, is that something that we can take into consideration legally?
Okay, since you asked, anytime that there are private deed restrictions and zoning regulations, the rule of
Thank you.
thumb, unless proven otherwise, is that the most restrictive will apply. So there are lots in the county that are zoned C1, which have homes on them. One does not negate the other. Both can be true. If whatever's most restrictive is normally what they have to follow. Do they have active, valid restrictions? The county does not know. There are old covenants on record. It's not, we don't take a stance whether they're active or not because it's private legal matter. And that's pretty much where we're at.
Well, and see, I'm glad you said what you did, because in my mind, it was, based on my recollection when I used to do this kind of work, That's exactly what I was thinking. So it would be up, even if we approved this, or if the county commission approved it, it would then be between the owner of that lot, Matt Equities or Enterprises, whatever it is, to deal with the homeowners association.
One does not override the other.
Right.
Both can exist.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there are, yeah, I mean,
Mr. President, I would think that it's either going to be part of a residential subdivision or it's not.
yeah,
And with a 3.5-foot easement, then no one should be able to access that lot on Ellis Lane, Ellis Drive. So I would suggest that one great use for that would be a residential lot off of Ellis Lane. The only way to do that is if the neighbors would grant him a correction to a mistake that was made
Yeah.
30 or 40 years ago.
We resurvey it with people giving permission to grant.
Yes, expanding that.
I was
And
gonna
and if
say,
that's,
we can't control that. It'd be up to the owners of lots 5 and 7 to give up some of their property, either voluntarily or with compensation.
and if that can't be done, then I would say that the best use for that would be to blend it in with what's behind it, with access. But I think it could probably make a great lot with some people helping correct an issue, an error that was made 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah. Because, you know, if these restricted covenants are of record, which there's a deed book and page number on here, deed book 286 at page 222, the very first one on there is the lot hereby conveyed shall be used for residence purposes only, and only one single-family residence in such private garage as may be needed with it shall be constructed thereon. So, again, it's not our job to give legal advice or opinions, but that concerns me. I guess it should concern the applicant as well, as whether or not they're gonna be able to do whatever it is they wanna do. And again, that's not something we can even consider, so. Any other comments?
My thought as well is, if we're considering what's available right now, and they don't have access to that road, if Mr. Beeks makes his neighbors upset with him and is not granted access to that road in the future, have we in a sense given him, made a piece of property that's unusable? And with the fact that Melissa stated one doesn't necessarily have to negate the other, I think that it would be in the best interest to go ahead and answer yes to number one, because it does touch C1 property, and then the homeowner or the property owner can then work it out to use it whatever land use he wants in the future, depending on what's best for his business.
Well, and I guess that takes us, unless there are any other comments, to criteria number 1. And the question is, will the proposed amendment protect and promote the public health, safety, convenience, moral, and general welfare? Any relevant facts to support or oppose that criteria?
I'm having trouble getting past the 3.5.
Yep. Any others?
I agree with Mr. Hobba.
Okay. So I'm hearing, no is probably going to be the answer to criteria number 1. Is that a fair assessment? All right.
I thought that it was yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought that they were implying that yes, because if we don't approve the amendment, then they don't really have access.
I'm glad you corrected me, because,
Is that's what, I heard the same thing.
That's my thought.
okay, all right.
Because if we approve the amendment, then they vertical access from, what's Commerce Drive.
You're right, right.
If we don't in the zone residential, then they really don't have access, and then it's up to the neighborhood on whether or not they, or the neighbors whether or not they agree to grant access.
Yeah, I mean, one important thing I'd like to know too, I mean, if it stays residential and it's gonna be restricted to residential, who is gonna, I mean, the value of that lot, what's the value of that lot for residential? Because you don't have access to the cul-de-sac.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Unless other homeowners allow
yeah.
access.
And who's gonna buy it with that, not knowing whether that's gonna happen?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, number one is yes then?
I think so.
All right. Number two, is the amendment consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan, US 35 corridor management plan? I don't think this falls under the US 35 corridor management plan, but the comprehensive plan. Any comments on that? Yes or no?
I think since it already touches so much C1 property, that it would be.
Okay. That is a yes as well? Yes. All right. And we don't need, so we have a yes on number one and a yes on number two. We do not need to go to number three. So, I will entertain a motion to either recommend approval or a motion to recommend disapproval to the county commission. Anyone wants to make that, either one of those motions?
I'll make the motion to recommend approval.
Okay, there's a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, the motion's been made and seconded. The motion is to recommend approval to the county commission. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No.
No. You want those recorded for the record?
Yeah. Roll call vote.
Do a roll call vote.
Jason Baker,
No.
Jim Dodrell,
Yes.
Oh, wait,
Oh, I don't have to vote.
skip.
Brian Ellis,
I'm still in my old role.
It's not been that
Dave
long.
Hava,
Yes.
Jacob Hack,
Yes.
Donald Pauly,
No.
Steve Perry,
No.
Sarah Stewart's,
Yes.
Travis Willard,
Yes.
5 yes.
Motion passes.
How many yeses
5,
and 2 noes? Is that correct?
3.
Three noes? Okay. Motion carries. All right. Thank you all very much for coming out. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is item 8, is the presentation of the 2025 annual report. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Since you were still here. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to present our 2025 annual report, the Office of Planning and Infrastructure. Before I get into the numbers, I'd like to acknowledge the County Commission, our advisory boards, including the Planning Commission, and my excellent team for their cooperation and professionalism, which continues to make our work possible. The data in this report provides a synopsis of the development activity across the county during 2025. Oh, I'm sorry, you all see this on your iPads, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we'll start with an overall look at development in the county. When we refer to development, we mean any man-made change to property, whether it be residential, commercial, grading, filling, accessory structures. This definition guides how we review and issue permits in our office. If you look at slide number 7, you see a recent history of developed permits in general, all the way back from '05 to our current 2025. You see that in '25, we issued a total of 213 development permits, which is slightly above the 10-year average and represents a significant increase compared to what we did in 2024. On slide 8 is a pie chart relative to the same data. You see that the permits were spread across site-built homes, manufactured homes, commercial projects, accessory structures, measuring growth across multiple sectors.
What was the other?
Other?
Yeah.
Other, you see on the lower left corner of slide 8, other, bridges, culverts,
Gotcha, thank you.
yeah, et cetera, et cetera. Slides 10 through 12, you can see commercial activity in 2025. There were several higher value projects which had a noticeable impact on the overall construction costs. The increase was driven more by project scale and valuation than by a dramatic increase in the number of projects. And on slide 13, you see estimated commercial and industrial construction costs in 2025. These costs in 2025 reached approximately $79.3 million, which is well above the 10-year average and well above last year's total. This marks the strongest commercial investment year in the past decade. You can see from the graph, 2025 towers above the previous 10 years. Slide 14, actual commercial and industrial permit approvals. We issued 40 commercial and industrial permit approvals in '25, which exceeds our 10-year average and represents a sizable increase over what we did in 2024. Slides 15 through 25, pictorial, highlights several major commercial and industrial projects completed or approved in 2025, including our CAMC Surgical Center. And you'll see on slides 16 and 17 some beautiful renderings of what the finished facility will look like.
That's an old picture of Dunkin' Donuts and Buffalo Wild Wings.
What was that? And we, on slide 26, we start talking about residential development, which remains strong throughout 2025. You see on slide 27, in 2025, we issued 119 single-family residential permits, which is above our 10-year average and also higher than what we did in 2024. Slide 28 is an interesting slide. This slide depicts the point in 2019 when permits for new manufactured homes surpassed permits for new site-built homes. And then you see this trend continued into 2020, but subsided in 2021 and 22, but then reemerged in 2023 and continues through the present. Slides 29 through 33 shows overall residential growth, which obviously reflects steady housing demand in the county. If we move on to slide 35, this is a depiction of our recent history of zoning permit approvals. We issued 83 zoning permits in 2025, which is above our 10-year average, slightly above what we did last year. Slide 36 is a pie chart relative to the same data. Most zoning permits involve accessory structures and signage in 2025, which are typical routine improvements. Slides 37 through 48 depict signs and change of land use permits that we issued in 2025. If we move on to slide 49, we see a recent history of zoning requests which were approved by boards, such as this board and the BZA and the County Commission. Each of these requests is reviewed on a case-by-case basis, obviously. In total, there were only 10 zoning requests which were approved by boards in 2025. But you see the curve is skewed by the large number of amendments that were made in 2022. In slide 50, another pie chart, relative to the same. See that most approvals involve text amendments rather than variances or special permits. Slide 51, we talk about a couple of municipalities. Through MOUs, or memorandums of understanding, the county continues to provide planning services to the municipalities of Bancroft and Buffalo. For Bancroft, our office implements their floodplain management program ordinance. For Buffalo, we implement subregs, floodplain management, and their improvement location permit ordinance. The next two slides, 52 and 53, depict recent activities in those two municipalities. Starting with slide 54, we see that subdivision activity increased notably during 2025, reflecting both development activity and property boundary adjustments. If you will look at slides 57 through 59, you'll see as-built final plat approvals for phases 2, 3, and 4 of Alexander's Place subdivision, Mr. Hava's major development. And we also finalized Section 2 of Colonial Oaks subdivision in 2025. Slide 61 depicts our recent history of minor subdivision plat approvals. You see we approved 40 minor subdivision plats in 2025, which is well above the 10-year average, and also slightly above what we did in 2024. Slide 62 depicts recent history of what we call other subdivision classifications, which are non-developable, plat to plat, exempt, plat from deed, boundary change, and merger. You see that we did 108 of this type of plat in 2025, which is an increase over our 10-year average, as well as a significant increase over 2024. And on slide 63, in the pie chart, you see that the overwhelming number of these plats are boundary changes and mergers, which largely reflects property reorganization. Slide 64 begins our financial review for 2025. The section summarizes budgets, expenditures, and revenues, reflecting increased permitting activity while maintaining responsible fiscal management. Slide 65, you'll see recent fiscal year budget versus expenditures, and you see that in our recent 24-25 fiscal year expenditures, we were 24% below budget.
Quick question.
Sure.
I know that this is the annual report for '25, but this is obviously fiscal year expenditures. Is that from July 1 of '24 through July or June 30 of '25? Or is this calendar year?
It starts in July, it runs from July to June.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure.
Yep. Slide 66, okay, that's our slide 66 fiscal year revenues, 2024-2025 fiscal year. You see that these revenues increased significantly compared to historical averages. Up quite a bit over our 10-year average, 87% over our 10-year average and 74% over what we did in 2024. And the calendar year, which is the next slide, slide 67.
I got ahead of myself, sorry.
That's okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Slide 67 is our calendar year revenues, and you see that we reached $132,790, well above our 10-year average, and also well above what we did in 2024. Slide 68, we do a brief discussion relative to our boards. Dilapidated and abandoned enforcement agency, we closed 27 cases in 2025, which directly improved public health and safety. That's 7 more cases than we did last year. And since I've been here, since 21, we've averaged closing 33 cases, day cases per year. So we were right on par with our recent average. Of course, the Planning Commission, you folks, you continue to oversee rezonings, text amendments, subdivision reviews, with this office providing technical support. The BZA, the Board of Zoning Appeals, they address variances, administrative appeals, special permits. The BZA's role ensures fairness while maintaining the intent of the zoning ordinance. And our office, the Office of Planning and Infrastructure, serves as the operational and technical bridge between the boards, the county commission, and the public. In closing, the activity shown in this report reflects a year of strong growth, increased investment, responsible enforcement, and sound fiscal management. And I would like to thank this board, as well as the others, for your continued support.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the report. Anybody have any questions?
No questions, but the visual presentation of the report was awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Very well done. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And greatly appreciate all the work you guys do, day in and day out.
Got a great staff. They're hardworking, super knowledgeable. Do a great job. Proud to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? I don't think we have any, do we? Don't believe so. Any new business? All right, none of that either. Unless there's any comments for the good of the order, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. We adjourn.
All right. We're done.